not everyone can be successful in this messed up system. I'm sorry, it's a fact, I'm sorry. In my first ever business studies class, they told us that 90% of businesses fail. 90%. That's the majority. Most people fail in the business world. You know, there's sort of this like in the world, it's sort of like if you're not successful, it's like you're a character flaw, like you're bad, like it's your fault. You didn't work hard enough as a classic. You didn't work hard enough. You know, this person got up at the classic one. They got up at 4 a.m. as though magically getting up at 4 a.m. makes you a better worker. That makes no sense. But people believe these people. Like I see these videos on YouTube. I got up at 4 a.m. for 1 month and my productivity improved. Oh my, those people drive me insane. Why does getting up at 4 a.m. like what if I work really well at night. So why does 4 a.m. getting up early, like why is, also, if you sleep less, you're going to feel worse. But even so, if you're able to sleep, it should just be, work when you work best. But of course, people go, oh, that's so smart, 4 a.m. I think people want to feel they have control. I think that's the whole theme of this. Like people want to feel that they have all this control. Like if I just get up early, I'm going to work hard. Look, if that works for you, that's fantastic. If getting up at 4 a.m. makes you happy, that's really cool. But don't preach it like everyone's got a magic solution. People sell courses about this stuff. Oh, how I got up at 4 a.m. Oh my. You might be tell from this video, online influencers, they often, I find them very annoying. They sell these like make money online courses. And to be honest, a lot of them aren't necessarily selling anything like wrong. Like they're selling coaching and courses, how to do skills, like, how to, sell products online or whatever. But it's the way they make it like, as though anyone can just do it. Like they sell it like anyone can just go in there and just start an e-commerce business and oh yeah, it's easy. Just sell ads on, you scale ads on Google and oh, I've looked at all the free, I've watched so many videos on this stuff and I've experimented with this myself. It's like, it is so saturated to sell things online. They don't want to tell you that because marketing is naturally exploitative. When you sell a product to somebody, you're essentially emotionally manipulating them to think they need your product, right? I knew someone, and it was like this, through this networking sort of event place I used to go to for these like networking events in someone's house. It was like this house we used to go to and we'd like meet people and political people and business people would go there and we'd like hang out. It was pretty cool actually. Like, it was like a party, but we'd also meet people. It was really cool. And so I'd go there. Of course, it's controversial, but we go there and we meet these people. And I met this person and he was, I'm not going to say give too many clues, but he was the head of marketing for like a really, really well-known Australian. I'm not going to say even what the business is because if I say what the business is, people will figure out who this person is. But he was head of marketing for like a really big, it's a really iconic Australian thing. Let's put it that way. Like if I say it, you'll go, oh, that one. It's like really obvious, right? I'm not going to say who it is. In these videos, I'm trying to keep people as anonymous. Even with like the professional famous bodybuilder that I met in the gym, I'm not even going to say like who he is, for example. I'm tempted, it's not really that bad to say that, but I'm just, for now, I'm not trying to say too many names about people that I've brushed shoulders with, to be honest. Just, I don't know, I feel better about making these videos if I just sort of keep it, I talk about what happened, but I don't, generally say everything. But anyway, so this guy was head of marketing for a massive, massive Australian company, all right? It's actually a public company, so I don't give a... Anyway, this guy ended up going into politics, and that's the whole thing, but yeah, he's in politics now, but... He told me that marketing is inherently emotional. He was giving me so his company that he was the head of marketing for, he was giving me like all these examples, like they get like a mother and a child in the commercial and like it's supposed to like make you feel bad and like, oh, like it's supposed to like make you feel emotional and like I want to buy the product and it's all like manipulation. So I'm itchy face for some reason. And he gave me all these examples, like he goes, like marketing's emotional. It's not like you're not logic. So I used to think, my brain used to think, okay, so if I want a new computer, I'm gonna like logically go, okay, there's Windows, there's Mac, which one? No, it's not like that. It's all marketing. It's like, oh, Apple looks cool, and like I want to be cool, and like that's how marketing works. Humans, I'm very different to most humans, but marketing, I've studied marketing. It's like it's emotional. You're manipulating people to buy stuff. Like you want them to feel. We used to joke in marketing. We had this joke. It was like it was like a meme we used to say in marketing. It was like you throw a brick through a window, and then in the brick there's like a note that says, "Oh, do you need a window repair?" That is literally marketing and sales, basically. I'm not saying everyone's doing bad things. A lot of businesses are doing great things. I'm not trying to paint everyone with a bad brush. But the point of this video is I'm trying to explain that the head of marketing for a really, really, really large, like well-known, iconic Australian brand that's public. He told me this. And I was like, okay, so like you're basically just manipulating people to buy stuff. That's basically what marketing is, right? So you're trying to manipulate people. That's what business is. You're trying to like play on their heartstrings. You're trying to like convince people that their life is not good. I gave this example in another video. It's like if you're selling a gym membership, in sales training, they would say like, oh, try and make the person feel guilty for not going to the gym and try and make them feel like they've given up on their weight loss goals and their family might like, so maybe how's your family feel about you being overweight? And like, you frame it in a way where like you're being the nice person. It's all so manipulative. People think it's so funny though. Oh, I'm manipulating people. I'm going to lead to another story in a second, but it's just all these sales tactics are so ridiculous. My friend was working in this place. This is a really depressing story about capitalism, but I'll tell you because it's very important. He was basically living in an Australian city, not the one I'm from, but he was living in a different one. And he basically needed money to pay rent, unfortunately, because that's how the damn world works. And so he desperately needed a job. So he actually got a job at a call center. And obviously he needed money. So he just got this job at a call center very quickly. And he didn't even really know what he was getting himself into, to be honest. But he got this job at a call center, and so it turns out he was selling insurance to old people, like pensioners specifically. But the insurance was really it was, I think, legal, but it was dodgy. So it cost them more money to switch over to this, I think it was like health insurance, something what it was. But it was it cost them a lot. The old people had to pay more money to switch over. There was some clause or something where they weren't fully covered, but it looked like they were going to be covered, but they weren't. Some insurance, I'm not an expert in this, to be honest. I should learn more about this, but it's not something I've studied extensively, how this stuff works. But, basically it's like some sort of trick in insurance where you look like you're going to give more than you really do. I don't know exactly. I'm not going to say I know this, but this is exactly what my friend was telling me. And so he told me his job was basically to call these pensioners up in the middle of the daytime, basically bother them for whatever they're doing. They call up and basically act like you're really nice to them. Oh, I care about your health, blah, blah. And, really act like you really like them, build rapport, as they say. And, convince them, because they're going to say, oh, but it's more expensive to switch over. Yes, but you're going to get all this extra stuff, blah, blah. The boss of the company literally was laughing. Apparently that's what I was told. He was laughing about how exploitative it is. He was literally like, oh yeah, look how stupid these pensioners are. They always fall for the same thing over and over. They're so dumb, ha ha ha. The faster you buy our product, the stupider you are. This is what I was saying in my capitalist video. Capitalism encourages bad behavior. In this business that my friend was working at, he only worked there for a little tiny bit. He couldn't stand it, to be honest. He doesn't like capitalism, so you can understand he didn't last very long there. But there was a sales manager. He was a sales manager, and he was having a go at people you don't sell enough products, and he would joke about how funny it is to exploit old people who are physically ill. It's so funny. It's oh, it's so funny, and these people I'm not saying all salespeople do this. I'm really not trying to pick on any individual here. I'm explaining stories of what happened, and to show you how crappy society is and capitalism and stuff like this. And he was at his job, and he would tell me I feel so bad. I've literally been forced because I need to pay rent and I don't want to be homeless. He was forced to sell products to people that were bad for them. I mean, it wasn't illegal, but it was very, I'm not sure how it works legally, but it was misleading of some sort. And he would basically harass people, get them to switch over to some insurance thing, and manipulate people, and the sales managers would all laugh about it. They'd also abuse him as well, oh, you didn't sell enough products, and they would have these little leaderboards, oh, who exploited the most people today, and you can imagine the stuff that goes on, right? And this is a call center. Wait to hear about what investment bankers do. I mean, I'm not trying to have a go at people I don't know. I'm only reporting on things I know about. Whatever, people I've met, people who have told me stories of people they've met. But the thing is, it's in this world, in this capitalist world, exploiting old people is not, it's basically they should make that illegal. Why is there a law that allows that? Society's so stupid. It's really funny because people say, there's this really famous, on YouTube, I've seen this pop up a few times on YouTube. It's the scammer gets scammed. So someone will call a scammer or something and be hack their webcam, be ha ha ha, you're exposed, ha ha ha, whatever. Some video, probably quite fun to watch, I assume. I think I watched one of them, they're pretty funny, I don't know. But what the point of the video is, you get in all the comments, and then people are I would never be scammed. I'm do you pay taxes? Do you pay a mortgage? I mean, people, I'm so smart, I would never be scammed. It's okay. Have you bought some stupid product that you don't need? Have you been emotionally manipulated into buying something? I mean, I've also really looked into sales and how I've watched a lot of free sales training videos, to be honest, how sales works. It's so manipulative, and people outright think it's so funny, oh yeah, it's so funny, and not. But then some of them are in denial. They go, oh no, I'm helping people. Well, maybe you are helping people. It's just I find it so depressing. I find marketing and sales to be the most depressing, even. It's just the way everyone's trying to get a one-up on each other. And this is the point of the whole video. The whole point of this video is not everyone can win. So you're competing with like all these people who are exploiting everyone, who have lots of money and they're doing all these things, and like you're not successful for whatever reason. It's really not your fault, to be honest, because not everyone can be successful. So even if, let's just give this little terrible argument some credence here. Let's just say that, hypothetically in this world, that working harder gets you ahead. It's a flawed statement because, even if that was true, people have different sleep cycles. Some people can sleep for 5 hours and work longer. Everyone has a different, how do I say, like different biology for different genders. Everyone has different like cycles and things. Everyone has a different life rhythm. I have a different life rhythm. Today I'm actually very tired, believe it or not. I feel very sick from my sleep deprivation. But what I'm trying to say is everyone has different, everyone has different bodies, different feelings, different brains, okay? But just pretend that working hard objectively worked. Like if you work 12 hours a day, objectively you will be successful. Let's just pretend that's the case. The problem is, if everyone did that, there would still be the 90% that wouldn't. Society is such a scam. Society is such a scam. Like if everyone worked hard, then there'd be the 90% would still be failing, but then working hard. You understand? Some people just go, screw it, I'm not even gonna bother, to be honest. Or at least if they're going to try and do something that has leverage, like they build a product they can sell or something they can actually continue to make money from, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're not successful, like there's so many things outside your control that you just don't like control. If you go for a job, you don't really control if you get the job. People love to say, well, I did a good interview. No, they just liked you. Like something you did just made them happy. Like you go into a job interview and yes, you might have prepared. I'm not trying to say you didn't do anything. Nothing is that straightforward in this crazy planet. But yes, you worked to get your job, but there's a lot of things outside your control. Just the way I look, the way I talk really has attracted people in my life and also repels people in my life. I'm a very sort of, people either love me or hate me. They either think I'm really annoying and boring, or they think I'm really funny and interesting. I don't know. It is what it is, right? I'd sort of rather be that than be, dull, to be honest. But some of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life, they were like this too. People love them or hate them. But that's the thing. Like if you're not successful, it's just genuinely not your fault. Professional venture capitalists, so venture capitalists, VCs, angel investors, whatever you want to call them, professionals who go around and have have piles of money and want to make bigger piles of money. Those people literally, because I've studied how VC works, and basically, they get a business that's up and coming and they invest in it, or startups or whatever. They literally factor in, like when they invest, they apparently factor in like that most businesses will fail. So when they actually divide up their capital, because that's how capitalism works, you've got to have all the capital and just throw it around and, pardon me. When they actually invest in businesses, did you know that they actually factor in that like most of them are going to fail? So if professional business people know this, they know this, right? They know this. Even the people selling those courses online, they go, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Results are not typical. Let me say that again. Results are not typical. What does that mean? Not everyone's doing it. Not everyone is going to be able to be successful. Like this is why I wish the world was a more compassionate place. Because if we accepted that not everyone can be successful, we would help the homeless more. We would, build more houses. We would if we accepted as a society that not everyone is going to be at the top. Because in capitalism, I was guilty of being brainwashed in this too, to be honest. It tricks people into thinking no, I can be at the top. It's fair. I can be at the top if I study hard and I do my little thing. And no, not everyone can be successful. One of my, I've known people who, my father's friend, he didn't get into medicine and it really upset him. Like he tried desperately. My father got into medicine, but I don't think he even he's just really smart. He got into medicine really easily. I don't know. But my father's friend, he didn't get into medicine, and apparently he was devastated. He studied hard. So he studied really, really hard and he was obsessed with medicine his whole life. When my father sort of just decided, I might try medicine, he got into medicine. And my father's friend who worked really, really hard, he didn't get into medicine. And it's so unfair because this guy wanted to be a doctor and he couldn't be a doctor. My father sort of decided to be a doctor and, he's still a doctor now. But the thing is, he's more than just a doctor. He does other stuff too, but I don't want to get too much into him, to be honest. But yeah, basically the friend, I think, became like an alcoholic. I think, from what I understand, I think he drank a lot of alcohol, and he kept failing to get into medicine. When my father got in on the first try, and it was something to do with the exam for medicine. They have it's like a really weird psychology test, and my father aced it, and then this other guy just didn't get this test. I forget what the test is called. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is it fair that my father's friend who desperately wanted to be a doctor, he failed, and he became an alcoholic and died early. This guy didn't live very long as a result of this, by the way. It's really serious. One of my friends, I talked about him at the channel, but he stopped, being a human. I have to be careful what I say because I think you get censored on YouTube from what I've researched. But like, he was an ultra high achieving person. He struggled to become successful. And he was a really intelligent, like, I'm not just saying this, he actually was a really intelligent person. He was so smart. He struggled, like, and it always got me, like, if you're not successful, society just tells you you're bad. Like, oh, you're bad. Like, you should just work harder. Like, those stupid people should just work harder. Like, I'm so smart. Like, no. My father's friend, he didn't get into medicine, but he worked really, really hard. Apparently, it was like a really devastating thing for him because he studied. My father just went whatever and got in, and then this other guy didn't. It's like, I even said, like, what if you just don't have, like I've said in my other video, I don't have the best science brain. I love science, but I'm not that good at it. I'm quite good at business, but I'm not good at science. But the thing is, I don't choose that. It's not your fault if you're unsuccessful. Whoever's watching this, if anyone's watching this, seriously, like, it's really not your fault. It should be almost liberating. Like, even if life is still painful, just know that, like, you didn't choose this. Like, if you could choose, you would have chosen the perfect brain, the perfect body. You would have chosen everything. We don't choose, like, how tall we are, what our face looks like. Oh, yes, people can do surgery, but you don't choose to even make money the right way. That's why I love money so much, because money sort of bypasses all this crap, If you've got a crap life, but you just inherit money, because I've known, certain people, if you just inherit money, your life changes, like, overnight. You have no idea. Like, you have no idea this stuff can change your life. If you inherit money, because your, like, relative just gives you money, which happens, by the way, I might even get money. Things can happen, And so what I'm trying to say is, you overnight are changed. And so what I'm trying to say is, it's not your fault. You talk to people who've, like, worked with troubled people, and like, they always have, like, there's often, like, a reason why their life went bad, and it's like often bad things happen to them, and even if you're in a bad situation, some people just cope with things differently. Like, we can't control what makes us happy and what makes us sad. I'll be honest, I get very depressed. I'll be honest, I also get lonely, to be honest. Like, I have this lonely, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a sort of, I feel sad. Like, I feel like, on this channel, people are understanding what I'm saying, so I appreciate that. But even when I was really popular, I always felt like, oh, people like me, but it's sort of like, I want people to sort of really get to know me, and, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain this. To be understood is a really good way to put it. I like to be understood as a person. And I get depressed. I can't help that. Now, some people get really anxious, like terribly anxious, and they can't function, where I'm a depressed person. Everyone's different. I thrive under really crazy environments, so people would be terrified. I'm good in those environments. We're all different. And so, you could have, whoever's watching this video, I'm being really serious with this, you could have been born in a very different body and had a very good life. And just, it is, the world, it's an evil world, and it robs people of happiness. It decides, like, the world, the entity, the universe, it's like it goes, oh, this person's going to be born, they're going to have a perfect brain, they're going to fit in, they're going to study well, and they're going to do all the things, and life's going to be good for them, and whatever life being good is, it's all subjective anyway, to be honest. For me, a good life is to be free. Freedom is a good life. To be like a wage slave, honestly, I don't want to say this, but, like, I would rather not, how do I say it? I'd rather not be around than be, in an office. Let's put it that way. I'd rather not, play the game of, the ultimate game. Let's put it that way. I've got to be really careful because I think YouTube censors this stuff, but I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, it's not your fault. It's really not your fault. Please don't beat yourself up about it. Seriously, please don't. I'm begging you, because when I figured this out, it was liberating. It was liberating. My life, things have gone wrong in my life outside my control. The biggest thing for me is my sleep disorder. It's really messed me over. And I used to beat myself up about, what's wrong with me? It's my body. My body did this to me. I didn't choose this. Whatever problems, you're having, you didn't choose that. Like, think about it. All humans would want to be happy. Like, even the most craziest, like, sadistic people, bad people, they would probably want to be happy, to be honest. Like, if you said to them, look, we'll get rid of all your problems and you can be happy, they'd probably do it, I think. I don't know, to be honest. That's the mystery. But people would want to be happy. Everyone would want to be happy. By definition, happiness is like happy. It's good. Everyone would want to be happy. But the fact that not everyone's happy makes this world a hell. Because if everyone's, happy, but if seemingly everyone's happy but you feel very isolated. Like, it's a really sad feeling. You think, to be honest with you, I have very bad depression. So I have pain in my bones. Like, I told the doctor this, like, I have physical pain, like my bones hurt. It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel bad. Plus I have sadness on top of that. But I actually could live with, depression's actually quite, I've learned to cope with it, but it's the isolation that really makes me sad. It's just like I'm good with making friends and talking. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's the sort of, you don't feel like you're really understood as a person. I don't know how to explain this. That's why I really appreciate all the comments, to be honest. The comments are amazing. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's really not your fault. Like, you would have, if you made this world, you would have made yourself, whatever perfect means. You would have made yourself into whatever, and you wouldn't have had to suffer just so endlessly. Like, you do suffer in this world. It's just so unfair, and people are blamed for things that they fail, and then society kicks them down. One of the commenters said it was those who fall behind are left behind. That's so sad. It's so true. It's so sad. And it's not your fault. Like, I've seen these comments on YouTube, right? It's like they show homeless people in America and people comment like, they chose this or something. It's like, well, do people want to have mental illness? Like, mental illness, you don't want to have it. Like, I don't want to be depressed. I don't want that. It's not your fault if you have some, like, look, I thought about this even today. Like, someone just feels sad. Like they don't, it is a feeling. It's like the weather. It's a cloudy day. I mean, I know why I'm sad a lot of the time, but even so, like, it's a physical feeling as well. I don't want to be sad. Do people want to, medicalization, they want to blame it like it's your fault, like you overthink or whatever crap they want to tell you, but like, you don't choose to overthink. That's the thing. Like, my brain analyzes so much stuff in the world. I don't choose that. And whatever your brain does, you don't choose that either. Like, yes, we have some level of control. Like, this video didn't make itself, but then again, like, I'm sort of freestyling this video. Like, I'm sort of just saying what comes to my head, and I don't really sort of choose what comes into my head. I don't know how to explain this. It's just, whatever you think, it's really not your fault, because the world itself, even if you had complete control over everything, even if free will was 100% correct, you don't control if you're successful or not, because 90% of businesses fail. When you go for a job, I knew people who their family owned law firms, and they told me this directly. When they posted a very entry-level clerical job, I was told that they get 200 to 300 applicants like in a day. Like people this is in the middle of Sydney. People get like, in the middle of, this is a big firm, like a really well-known. Anyway, they were getting 200, 300 applications from just like, we're talking like fifth year students that should have like about to graduate, like people who would not be, they should be already looking to be a lawyer, but they were applying for these really like entry level jobs. And we were told in law, like, oh, if you don't work for free, you've got a bad attitude. And I'm like, fuck, what the fuck, you people are, my lecturer and tutor, he told me he quit being a lawyer to be a teacher because law is, his words, law is very depressing. He told me law is depressing. He said, law is the most depressing career I can think of. And he told me lawyers have like really bad depression. Lawyers use substances. I don't want to say because it's desensitizing. What's it called? Censor. But my law lecturer told me how crap law is. So like he was able to be a lawyer and he hated it and he quit. You don't choose, and like every job is competitive. So just to get the most basic entry level job, it's so competitive. It's so competitive. Everyone's applying for these menial jobs. Even making money online, like if you want to freelance a skill, you want to be a copywriter, you want to do something, it's all competitive. Like everything's competitive, to be honest. Like it's all competitive. Everything's saturated. Because there's a lot of people and not everyone can be successful. But society wants to tell everyone, no, you can all be successful. Like, you're successful, you're good, and you're not, you're bad. And it's just, where's the compassion? Where's the humanity? People like are more likely to feed a stray cat or a dog, but then they see a homeless person and it's like oh, that's disgusting. Oh, that horrible, disgusting. It's horrible the way people treat other humans, to be honest. It like messes my head up, to be honest. I really don't like it. I've seen them be harassed, and I have seen them being harassed by, police and security and people on the street, and I've seen them being harassed. And I get so like, I wish I could stop this, but I can't. I'm like, because I don't have power, so what can you do, But it's not your fault. And I know there's someone was homeless watching my video, and like, it's not your fault. Like, you want to live in a home, but you can't. Like, it's and that's the thing, like people don't want to live horrible lives. They don't want to be crazy, chaotic brains. I'm not saying crazy in a mean way. I mean, just like chaotic, People don't want to have things in their heads. My friend had schizophrenia. He doesn't want to have this stuff in his head, but like, they get so, they can't help it, And it's just not your fault. The world is set up in a system where capitalism is very exploitative, and the ones at the top, unfortunately, are making a lot of money at the expense of everyone. It's just how it works. It's just literally how it works. It's just the way it works, And so if you're not successful, you're in a rigged system. So of course, it's like, okay, if you're a fish in a net. It's like, Finding Nemo, where they're in that fish, they're swimming to the bottom of the ocean to get out of the net. It's like that. Like if people just like swum out to get out of the net, But you can't, because everyone's delusional and thinks that life's fair and, it's all good. And so many things, before I wrap this up, so many things in jobs are just so ridiculous. Like you might not be able to get a job because, I knew this guy and he was in the military. He was like an analyst. He was very intelligent. Like he did like intelligence with the Air Force or something. I can't quite remember what he did, to be honest. And I forget what it was. It was something to do with like computers in the Air Force or something. And he just like one day he failed a medical test. Like, it wasn't even relevant to his job. It was completely irrelevant to his job. He had like something very minor wrong with him. And because he failed this medical test, they just kicked him out. Like 20 years, and just kicked him out. Like he was nothing. He got really sad. It was like he was kicked out. And he was just, he spent his whole life doing this thing in the Air Force. And he was like really into it. And it was a computer thing. So he didn't have to fight anyone. It was just a computer thing. They just kicked him out. This is why I say get rich, make money. And don't let them take your money. Put your money somewhere in a trust or something and put your money off. No, not financial advice, but seriously, get your money, be free. I shouldn't recommend, but gold, Bitcoin, not financial advice. But yes, we do have to use disclaimers. That is a real thing, by the way. But yeah, basically just not financial advice. None of this is financial advice, just my opinion. But what I'm trying to say is, if you can somehow make money and you can be free, then that's, I think, the best thing you can do while in this crazy planet called Earth, this prison planet called Earth. But yes, I hope someone actually watched this. I genuinely still to this day don't believe people watch my video. I know it's crazy. I don't believe people are actually watching the whole video. I'm like, no one's actually going to watch this. I don't believe people will watch it. If someone does watch this, I will be genuinely mind blown. I cannot believe a person watches this. I'm just internally grateful, to be honest. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.